This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So we can start. Okay, so this is how it is. We have covered all these points. So yesterday I started with manipulating and reshaping data. We have 6 points. Sorry, 8 points. 8 points. We'll start with that points now. Okay, so whenever we installing how to open SAS software, I'll show you how to open SAS software. I'll show you. So whenever we are installing SAS software, so how many of you installed SAS software? Installed? Okay, so please others try to install as soon as possible because we will start with programs. So once we are done with the programs, you have to practice. So while hearing or while attending class, you will feel pretty much comfortable. It is easy, super. You will feel it, but when you start doing it, you will see the difference. Okay, while doing it, you will you will stuck up at multiple cases, multiple places. So whenever you are done with the session, immediately on the same day at your free time, so you have to open SAS, try to write whatever is explained to you or whatever is understood to you. So every day first 5 minutes or 10 minutes depending upon your doubts, I will give you some time. First 5 minutes or 10 minutes I will give you time. Raj, yesterday I practiced it here, I was stuck up here, I don't know what to do, what is the error, I'm not able to understand. So no problem, we will discuss. I will explain your doubt. Once you are clear, we will move on to next level. Okay, is that fine? So we will start this habit from tomorrow. So every day 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So if you have more doubts, no problem, you take 10 minutes. Much more, take half an hour, no issues. But whenever you have a doubt, so first the doubt should be clarified, then only we can move on to next question or next point. Okay, right? So from tomorrow, I will give you 5 minutes time. So if I forget also, please remember me, remind me. Okay. So Raj, I have a doubt. No problem. It is because I started, you have no need to continue. You can remind me, Raj, I have a doubt, can you please clarify me on this? No problem, sure. Okay. And I'm telling you, no matter whatever the question is, please don't hesitate. Okay, Raj will not think bad. Arey, this is a silly question, serious question. Never, I never treat or classifies a question as a silly question as a serious question. So please go ahead. So this much of level of comfort you will never get everywhere. Correct. So generally people come. I have seen, even I studied, right. Even today, real time scenarios also. Many people come. They will just they will tell something. They'll go away. So whether other targeted audience has understood it as or no, they are least bothered. But in my case, I'm very much bothered about my targeted audience, whether everybody is clear. I will check with each and every person, then only I will move on to next point. Correct. So people who are attending sessions from, you already know, right? Right. So first of all, so this is how I have to open my SAS software. You see, right? Double click on this. This is how I open my SAS software. The moment we open SAS software, there are 5 basic windows: editor window, log window, output window, explorer window, results window. So editor window, we all know, editor window is used to write a program in SAS. So SAS is a software, compulsory we have to use editor window to write a code. Log window to identify if there are any errors or warnings in your program. Output window to display your analysis results. Explorer window to store your SAS data sets. Results window, it will maintain a list of all printed results. Right. So first of all, SAS stands for statistical analysis data. If you wanted to perform analysis, what we need? We need data. If you wanted to perform analysis, what we need? We need data. And whenever we are talking about data, data is available in different forms. Few people will store data in Excel file. Few people will store data in CSV file. Few people will store data in Oracle database. Correct. Apart from this, few people will type their data on their own. So now how to read data? First of all, if we were able to read data into SAS, later on we can do the analysis and we can generate report. So in the first instance, we will see how to read data from different kinds of data sources. After that, again, we can also learn how to, select particular variables into your data set. Okay. So first of all, people who are attending new, they can note down these points. They can take a screenshot. Photo తీసుకోండి photo తీసుకోండి. You know Telugu? You understand Telugu? No, right? Okay. So then I will learn Hindi. You are Hindi, right? You're comfortable with Hindi, right? Okay. So take a picture of this. Okay, no problem. Now you read this. So now, first of all, I will try to write a program in SAS. So if you wanted to write a program in SAS, we have to follow these rules. So rule number one, SAS program should always start with a keyword called data or proc. So I started with the data because first of all, data is required, right? Once you get data, later on proc step for analysis. So data DS. I write my data set name. Rule number two, every statement should end with semicolon. Every statement means every program line I'm ending with semicolon. Rule number three, to write a program in SAS, we have to keep three words in mind. What are the three words? Infile, input, data lines. Out of that infile data lines is a standard text. And input statement, what data you are supposed to collect? I wanted to collect employee ID, employee name, age, gender and salary. And data lines. Whenever we are writing data lines statement, this means it is an instruction to SAS. From next line onwards, we are typing some raw data. So for ID 101, name Raj, age 29, gender male, salary 98,000. 102, Sri 24, female 54,000. So this is all the data we are entering in SAS. So always keep this point in mind. Raw data should be highlighted with yellow color. If your raw data is not highlighted with yellow color, this means you are doing something wrong in your program. Okay. Suppose to say if I give a semicolon here, actually rule number two says every statement means every program line should end with semicolon, correct? So, but here it is a data line. So data lines are not required to end with semicolon. If you give a semicolon, it is a issue. So once you are done with your raw data, you can give semicolon at the end. Okay, this is also not mandatory, but if you are giving, it is a good programming practice. And rule number four, what is your rule number four? SAS program should always end with a keyword called run state. Rule number five, SAS by default, it will read numbers. So SAS automatically, it will understand numbers, it will read data into your numbers. If suppose to say if I have alphabets or special characters, how to handle it? I have to instruct SAS with a dollar sign. For ID, do I need to give dollar sign yes or no? Not required. For name, do I need to give dollar sign yes or no? Yes, because
Yes.
variable name has to read alphabets Raj and Shri, correct? So if you wanted to read alphabets or special characters, I have to give dollar sign. And age variable has to read numbers. If you wanted to read numbers, do I need to give dollar sign yes or no? Not required. If it is a number, SAS automatically it will read. If it is an alphabet, we have to give that dollar sign. So gender variable is having M and F. Do I need to give dollar sign for gender yes or no? Yes, because I have to read alphabets. Sal, not required because salary variable has to read numbers, right? If it is numbers, SAS automatically it can read, correct? Fine. So if you run the program, you see it will create all your data sets. Log window, you see, right? The data set work.ds has two observations and five variables. Two observations, nothing but two rows of your raw data. Five variables, nothing but five columns. Column number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, five columns of data. Columns are called as variables, rows are called as observations. This is SAS terminology. And if you wanted to see this data set, where are your data sets stored? Data sets are stored in Explorer window. any data set we create in SAS, by default the data set will be stored in Explorer window. You need to go to libraries, and in libraries where it will store, work library. So work library default, whatever the data sets we create in SAS, by default it will store in a library called work library. Okay, this is the data set you created, right? DS. 2 rows, 5 columns, agree, yes or no? So this is what the information we entered in SAS. Okay, if you wanted to do analysis, if you wanted to read data, no need to depend on notepad file or Excel file. We can also type our own data in SAS. So this is one example how to type our own data in SAS. And you can see here, this is one data set. So after seeing this data set, my manager said, Raj, I have too much of information here. Too much of information is present in my data set. I don't want all this information. I want only employee name and how much salary we are giving to that employee. I am interested in only looking at two factors, two fields, nothing but two variables. So what are the two variables I am interested? I wanted to see name and salary. If you wanted to store only two variables into your data set, do I need to delete all this information, yes or no? Agree, yes or no? I have to delete this 101, 102. I have to delete this age, say gender. Correct. So if it is two observations, I can manually delete it. Suppose imagine I have 10,000 observations. Is it easy for me to delete all 10,000 observations? It is a difficult part, right? It is a challenging part. Okay, with all my efforts, I deleted 10,000 observations. After that, again, my manager said, Array, there are two people with name Raj here. I want their employee ID also. Rajshekhar Raj, Rajkumar Raj, right? People will call Raj, right? So I see two people with Raj, same names. So I want employee ID also. So again, shall I type all 10,000 employee IDs there? Huh? Do you feel it happy? You will feel it as a punishment, right? Huh? Who will do it here? 10,000 observations. Who will type? It's a punishment, right? So what to do in this case is, if you wanted to store particular variables into your data set, even though you give all the data, but still I wanted to store only two variables into my data set. Okay. In this case, I have to use an option called keep. In this case, I have to use an option called keep. Excuse me. Right. So where to use this option keep? After data set name. So totally there are 8 data statement options. First one keep, second one drop, write it down, write it down. So totally 8 data statement options are there. People who has not written. So in SAS, we have 8 data statement options. In SAS, we have 8 data statement options. First one, keep. Second one, drop. Third one, rename. Fourth one, where. You see, right? I'm writing on board, you can see. Where. Fifth one, replace. Sixth one, password, PW. Seventh one, label. Eighth one, no list. So one thumb rule, Banda Gurtu, thumb rule is we use this data statement options after data set name within a bracket. Where to use this data statement options? Yeah, we will have a question, right? Raj, where should I use my keep option? So where should we use this options is after data set name. What is my data set name here? What is my data set name here?
DS.
Yes.
So my data set name is DS. After DS name, within the bracket, I should use the option keep. So keep is equal to what variables you wanted to keep into your data set? Name, cell. So within a bracket, I have to use this. The moment you run this program, your SAS, this time it will keep only these two variables into your data set. See log window. So if you see your data set DS, you see How much it is? See how much it is? It is two columns. Two columns, nothing but two variables, name and sal. I asked SAS only to keep these two columns, right? After that, my manager said, Raj, please, I want ID column also. Okay. So with no difficulties, you see, right? I simply add my variable ID here. And the moment you run the program, you check your log window, are there any text in red color? No, right? In SAS, whenever you are seeing any text in red color, you can understand it is an error. Wherever you see red color, in SAS, you have to understand it as an error. So you see DS. You got ID column also, right? Correct? So no need to delete all 10,000 observations, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? So this helps us to do this job. You see, right? Keep option is used to select particular variables into your data set. Got the point? Yes or no? Everyone got the point? Yes or no? So all of you have noted these 8 points, right? I can delete, correct? Right. Okay, fine. Next. Suppose to say I'm writing one more program. Okay. Data DS1. In file data lines. So this time I wanted to capture students information. So students information is student ID, student name, gender, marks, attendance percentage. Antega students data means you will have a main, ID, name, gender, marks, attendance percentage. Correct. This is the data in general we capture from a group of students. Correct. So next one, in file input data lines. Correct. Right. So now I write 101, name Raj, male. My marks are, I have 73 percentage, my attendance is 60 percentage. 102. Any other good names? Huh? Mohan. Other names? Narmada. Okay. Any other? Vinay. Okay. Last lucky? Sai? Sai Teja. Okay. Right. So now, Mohan, how many marks? Parla, not necessarily original, it can be anything. Okay. So 90. Okay. Ekveskununa. One day school also. You can take 100, right? Why only 90? Attendance? Narmada? 83, 75.
Sir, sir, next to Narmada, you missed the gender. Yeah.
Sorry?
No. Next to Narmada, you missed the gender.
Correct. Perfect. 70 and 70. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So now I have all the data. I typed all my data in SAS. Semicolon, run. Correct. So you see, for ID, do I need to give dollar sign? Name, do I ID, do I need to give dollar sign? Not required, because it is a number, SAS automatically it will read. Name has to read Raj, Mohan. So you see, right? These are all the alphabets we have. So if you wanted to read alphabets, we have to give dollar sign. For gender, do I need to give dollar sign, yes or no? Yes. For marks, not required. Attendance, not required. Okay, and attendance is a number, not required. Okay, so now I try to run this program in SAS. Let me check my program is right or wrong. Go to log window. Are you seeing any text in red color? No. So what is your data set says? The data set work.ds1 has 5 observations and 5 variables. So 5 rows and 5 columns. Correct. DS1 data set. You see 5 rows and 5 columns. All my data is absolutely fine. I got my data into SAS. Now after this, my manager asked me, I want only name, marks, attendance percentage. Names and marks only I want. Okay, my principal asked me, Who is the person name? How much marks? Okay, right. So I am new to SAS. If I do something, there is a chance that original data may be corrupted. I'm new to SAS. If I'm trying to do some experiments here and there is a chance that original data gets corrupted. So for a safer side, I wanted to take a copy of this data set. In general, we will not do experiments on trial and error on original data, right? So we take a copy of that file. On that copied file, duplicate file, we do experiment, correct? So same concept I wanted to apply it here. If you wanted to create a new data set from an existing data set, how to do it? So data ds1a, I'm creating a new data set with a name called ds1a. So I wanted to copy all the information from ds1 into this data set, correct? I wanted to copy all this information from ds1 into this ds1a. Set ds1, run. Whenever you run this program, it copies all the information from ds1 into a new data set ds1a. So if you run it, you see, right? How many words there? Hardly 5 words, right? Hardly 5 words, right? Data ds1, set ds1, run, correct? Hardly 5 words, right? These 5 words will do the job. You see, right? It has created a data set called ds1a. Check your log window first. So there are 5 observations present in ds1 data set. All that 5 observations are copied to ds1a. You see, right? ds1a now contains 5 variables, 5 observations. If you open ds1a, so now I can do a lot of experiments on this. Even though the data is corrupted also, for me no problem, because my original data is safe in ds1, correct? Agree, yes or no? So if you wanted to create a new data set from existing SAS data set, I use set statement. Now I do my trial and error. So in this data set ds1a, I want only student name and marks. So if you want only student name and marks, what is the option I should choose? I should choose keep option. Where to use keep option? After dataset name. After dataset name, I have to use the option. What is my dataset name here? ds1a. So after ds1a, start bracket, write keep is equal to name and marks. Okay, name space marks. Bracket open, bracket close. So if you run the program now, you see ds1a, now it will store only name and marks. Okay, it will store only name and marks. If you see ds1a, you got only name and marks, right? So from this, I wanted to see how girls are reading, how boys are reading. For example, okay. So I wanted to add, so my principal sir asked me to add one more column, gender. Okay. So if you wanted to add one more gender, is it possible, yes or no? Can we do it, yes or no? Yes. Simply give a space here, add gen. Run the code, you will get entire gender information also.
The dollar sign is not required in this.
So in keep option, no need to write dollar sign. So dollar sign is required only in input statement. So rest wherever we use these columns, no need to give dollar sign. That's a good question. Yes, not required. Okay, you can also see I have not written for name. Only in input statement we need to specify. Rest wherever we are using these variables, no need to give dollar sign. Now ds1a is now containing name, gender, marks. Correct? So you see females 83%, males like 70, 73, 90. Okay, right. So you can see, right, you got male female information also, right? So this is how I create a new data set using existing SAS data set, and at the same time I can select particular variables into my data set. Clear to everyone, yes or no? Any questions so far? Anything which is not clear? Can I move on to next point? Right.
Yes.
So using SAS in our demo session, I have explained, or we have learned. Using SAS, we can read data from Notepad file, Excel file, CSV file, and so on. Even databases also I can read. Correct. So if your client is providing data in a Notepad file, how to handle it? Suppose to say my client is providing me data in a Notepad file. So the moment you get Notepad file, what to do? I have to download that email attachment. My client has sent me an email. That email, I have to download that email attachment, and I have downloaded it and stored it in my system in D drive. I have downloaded that email attachment and I stored it in my system D drive in a folder called test. You know how to download the attachment from email, yes or no? Tells kada? You can save it in your system, yes or no? Right. So I go like, if you are not aware of that, even I will show you that part as well. No worries. So if something is not clear, don't hesitate. You can ask me. Okay. So I have downloaded that email attachment and I stored it in my system in D drive in a folder called test. Right. So now I have that information in a file called sample. This is all the information I have. So my client has sent his employee information. Okay. Employee ID, name, gender, age, marks. Okay. So now using SAS, I have to read this data from notepad file into SAS environment. So how to do that? I'm telling you, see now. So data DS2. Normally what we are doing, we are writing in file data lines, correct? We are writing in file data lines because we are defining data lines in the same program. We are writing in file data lines because we are defining data lines in the same program. In this case, am I typing raw data here? No, I'm not typing raw data here. Here my requirement or my challenge is I have to read data from notepad file which is present in your system D drive and in the folder test. Correct. Now I have to tell SAS my raw data is present in. So what is the location of the file? If you wanted to get the location of the file, first select the file, do right click, go to properties, go to security, copy the path, right click, copy. So now give inverted comma and right click, paste, inverted comma, close. Whenever we are writing location of the file, location should always be presented inside inverted commas. Okay, location should always be presented inverted commas. So in this, delete first two characters, otherwise your SAS will throw an error. So delete first two characters and type it again. So now in file statement should end with semicolon, right? So I am telling SAS for raw data, you need to refer this location. That is what I am giving an instruction with this in file statement. Input statement, what data you have in notepad file? You have employee ID, name, gender, age, salary. Just now we saw the data, right? If you want, I can show one more time. What data I have? Employee ID, name, gender, age, salary. This is what I have written, correct? Correct? And the column number 2 is having alphabets. Column number 3 is having alphabets. For these two columns, what do you have to do in input statement? I have to write $sign. For ID, do I need to give $sign here? Not required because it is a number. For $sign, for name, should I give $sign, yes or no? Yes. Third column is gender. For gender, do I need to give $sign, yes or no? Yes, because it has to read M and F, correct? So for age, do I need to give $sign, yes or no? For age, do I need to give $sign, yes or no? Not required. For salary? Not required. So previously we have written data length statement, right? So when should we write a data length statement? Whenever we are writing data length statement, we are giving an instruction to SAS. From next line onwards, we are typing raw data. In this case, am I typing raw data? No, I'm not typing any raw data. In fact, I'm trying to read raw data which is presented in D drive in a folder called test. Correct. So no need to write data lines statement also. Finally, your SAS program should end with run statement. And a $sign, I already used a $sign, right? Fine. So now if you run the program, your SAS will go to D drive. It will go to the folder test. It will read data from sample.txt. You see, right? Log window, is it throwing any error? Any text you see in red color? No. So if you see your data set DS2, DS2 is the data set which is copied from notepad file. So you see, right? Cross check one row, one column. is what the information we read into SAS, correct? So SAS is reading all the data properly, yes or no? See, cross check
Sir?
one row, one column.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, while you're running the program, the notepad is open, but how the data is here?
For notepad file, no issues. Excel file only it will
Okay.
create an issue.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Sir,
So, yes, please.
sir, can you explain how to create notepad file by our own?
Yeah, we can do it here, no problem. Windows are
Thank you.
notepad. So you type data 001 Raj male, age some 28, salary some 54,000. Or if you wanted to collect students data 101, okay, Manish male, marks are 70, attendance 80. So likewise you can type data. Once we are done, you just need to click on save. Save. It will ask the location where to save it. You give a name here, and you can store it in desktop, C drive, D drive, wherever you want. You can click on save. It will save your data. You see, right? If you see, so you got your notepad file. This is how
Yes,
we
sir,
enter
but
data into notepad file. Yes, please.
yes, sir, whenever I'm running the program, it's showing as error, sir.
What error you are getting?
No program is running, sir. Error showing.
At the end of this session, I'll give you presenter access. Open your
Yes.
laptop, do
Okay,
it,
sir.
keep it ready. At the end of the session, I'll give you presenter access. I can see what is there in your laptop, what error I can see. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Keep your
Thank
laptop ready. Keep the program ready, keep the error ready. We'll discuss at the end. Okay?
you. Okay, sir.
Right. So now you see this is how I read data from, notepad file to SAS. Correct? Next. Next. If you wanted to select particular variables into your data set, what should I do? I don't want all the information here. I want only employee name, salary. If I wanted to store only particular variables, what option should I use? Where to use the keep option?
Data.
After data set name. What is my data set name here?
DS2.
For name, do I need to give $sign?
No.
Name $sign? Not required. Keep option.
But
In keep
keeping
option,
up,
it is
no.
not required. Only in input statement, it is required. Okay? Keep option, it's not required. Sal. So if you run the program here, it will store only two columns, name and sal. DS2 data set, you see, name and sal. Clear? Everyone clear? Clear? Right. Next. So this is how I write a program. You see, right? This is how I write a normal program. So this is how I create a new data set from existing SAS data set. Correct? We are reading data, right, from existing SAS data set, and you're selecting particular data. And this is how I read data from notepad file, and I'm using the option keep. Now, apart from notepad file, we can also read data from Excel file also, right? We can also read data from Excel file also, right? Just give me a minute, guys. Okay, so now you see, if you wanted to read data from Excel file to SAS, if you wanted to read data from Excel file also, I can read data into SAS, right? So if you wanted to read data from Excel file into SAS, what happens? You see, right? Proc import data file equal to. So proc stands for procedure. Proc stands for procedure. Import. What is the meaning import? Getting goods from other country to India is imported good product, right? Yeah, Benz car. Benz car is a imported one. iPhone, imported one. Correct? Yes or no? బెంజ్ కొంటారా ఎవరైనా? ఎవరికైనా ఉందా బెంజ్? ఎనీవన్ హ్యాస్ బెంజ్? No? So soon we will get no issues. Okay, after doing job we will buy. Right. So now you see, right, proc import data file equal to. So I have to tell SAS. So what I have to import? I have to import a data file. Proc import data file. So data file means, so the file which is containing data. So proc import data file equal to, you have to tell SAS where your data file is present. So where is your data file present? So suppose to say this is my sample file. I wanted to read data from this sample file into SAS. Okay. So if you wanted to read data from this file, you have to tell SAS where the file is present. So first of all, select the data file, do right click, go to properties, go to security. So here you will get path in one go. Copy the entire path. In object name, you copy the path. Again, I'll repeat. First select the file, do right click, go to properties, go to security, copy the path. Right click, copy. That path I have to paste it here. Proc import data file equal to, I should start with inverted comma, control V, paste. Okay, inverted comma, close. So whenever you are copying location from a file, I told you, right, first two characters you have to delete. Yeah. First two characters you have to delete and type it again. You can write small d also, no problem. Small d, capital D, no problem. So you are asking SAS to read data from this file, correct? So you are instructing SAS to go to D drive, test folder, and you are asking SAS to read data from this sample Excel file. Whenever you are trying to read data from Excel, Excel has a wide variety of flavors. We have different types of Excel files. Agree, yes or no? So you see, these are all the different types of Excel files you have. So go to file, click on save as. See, these many types of Excel files are there. Your SAS is really confused what type of Excel file it is, correct? Obviously it will confuse, right? So what type of Excel file it is? So I have to give input to my SAS. So what type of Excel file it is? So if you wanted to see the type of the file, select that file, do right click, go to properties. So you see, right, in general tab you will see type of the file. Type of the file is XLSX. So this input I have to give it to my proc import. I have to tell it my SAS. So proc import data file equal to, I have written the file location, and in DBMS I have to specify the type of the file. DBMS stands for Database Management System. DBMS is equal to XLSX. DBMS is equal to XLSX. The moment you have given instruction to SAS, the moment you have told SAS where your file is present, and the moment you have given the clear input, what is the type of the file, SAS automatically it will go to D drive, it will then go to test folder, it will connect with sample.xls. The moment it establishes a connection with sample Excel file, it will copy all the information from sample Excel file. The moment it establishes a connection, what it will do? First thing, it will copy the entire information present in this sample Excel file. This copied information, it has to place out in SAS environment, right? Whatever the information it has copied, this information, it has to place out in SAS environment. So we write out is equal to DS3. Whatever the information you have captured, this information it has to place out in SAS environment. So out is equal to DS3. After that, replace. Replace is optional. And finally run. This is one single line, correct? This is one single line, correct? So one single line is doing the job. No need to write input statement, no need to write dollar, no need to write, nothing. Okay. So this procedure, proc step, will help us to read data from Excel file to SAS. Proc import. So the procedure is import procedure. Proc stands for procedure. I am selecting a import procedure. So what I have to import? I have to import data file. Data file means a file which is containing data. Data file equal to, I have to tell SAS where the location of the file, and I have to tell what is the type of file. Type of the file I have to specify in DBMS option. The moment you have given clear input to SAS, so SAS is now familiar with, it is very clear, it will access sample Excel file and it will copy all the information from sample Excel file to you know DS3. Out equal to DS3, you see, right? It copies all the information from sample Excel file to DS3. So if you run the program here, you see log window, are there any errors? No, right? So DS3 data set is ready. So you see, this is all the information we are reading from SAS, right? From Excel file, right? So you see, right? 101 to 110, right? 110. You see, right? 110 XYZ 22 3600 mail. So XYZ 22 3600 mail. You see all the data reading, right? It is reading all the data properly, yes or no? Right. So if you see here, this is how it works. Okay. So one point to be noted in mind is, whenever you are trying to read data from this Excel file, please make sure this Excel file is closed. Suppose to say, if I open this Excel file and I run the program, this becomes a read-only file. So whenever your SAS is open, whenever this file is already opened, it becomes a read-only to SAS. SAS cannot write information from Excel to SAS. So if you run the program, right now you have DS3, right? If you run the program, DS3 is gone. You see, right? If you see log window, import unsuccessful because it is damaged. So I cannot open SAS, maybe it is damaged. Actually, it is a read-only file. Same program, I did not modify any single line, correct? So if you close the file, if you close that Excel file, okay, and if you run the program, this time it is getting, you are able to read that data set. You see the difference, right? So generally people, whenever you are practicing, you will open that Excel file and you try to run the program. After that you get errors and you will break your head for half an hour. What is wrong, everything, I have written like sir whatever taught, I've written same everything, but why it is still showing wrong, correct? So the wrong is not in your program. So please make sure that Excel file is closed. Okay, right? Clear to everyone? Right. So in this Excel file, I have all the columns like name, age, sal. So I want only two columns, name and sal. If you wanted to keep only these two columns, so where to use the keep option? Where to use the keep option? After data set name. What is your data set name here? After data set name, start your bracket, write name, sal. So don't give a semicolon here, because if I write this way, it is not visible to you, right? So the reason I brought it into next line, this is all one single statement. Don't give semicolon here. Please make a note. Okay. So now if you run the program, so compulsory replace option should be there now, because you already have a data set DS3. So if you run the program now, it will replace and you will get name and sal. So you see, right? DS3 data set, you got name and sal, right? Yes or no? So keep option is selecting particular variables into your data set, yes or no? So from this program, you have learned how to read data from Excel file and how to select particular columns into your data set.
What
Correct?
will happen if we don't write replace?
If you don't write replace, it says there is already a data set with name DS3. So already you have a data set DS3, right? If you don't write replace, your SAS will cancel import. Import cancelled because output dataset DS3 already exists. If you wanted to overwrite it, use replace option. Got it?
Okay.
So compulsory we need to write replace. Right. If you are storing in a separate data set, it will not create any issue. This time it will create. If you wanted to store it in a separate data set, so you see, right, run menu, submit. This time it is not creating any issue because there is no data set DS3A. Correct. So now reading your data from Excel file is fine. If you're trying to read data from CSV file to SAS, okay, same technique we use. because CSV is also flavor of Excel, right? CSV is also flavor of Excel, right? You see, this is a CSV file. So you will have a comma like this. This is how a CSV file will look. If you open this file, it will look like a normal Excel file. If you open this file, it will look like a normal Excel file. Okay. But all the data at the back end, it is separated with comma. If you wanted to see that, you can do right click, select that file, do right click, open with WordPad. You see, right? Every value is separated with comma. Every value is separated with comma. Okay, so now if you wanted to read this file in SAS, okay, if you wanted to read this file in SAS, so what I'm supposed to do, I have to use the same procedure, proc import. So you have to tell SAS where the file is present. Right click, properties, go to security, copy the path. So whenever we are writing location of the file, first two characters you have to delete and type it again. And what is your database? What is the type of the file? It is CSV. If you wanted to know the type of the file, first select the file, do right click, properties. In general tab, you see what is the type of the file? CSV. So I type CSV. DBMS is equal to CSV. Whenever we have given all the inputs, so you see, right, we can store that information in SAS. Out equal to DS4, replace, run. So if you run the program, it will create a data set called DS4. You see it, right? ID, name, age, sal, sex. You see it, right? And if you wanted to store particular variables into your data set, what is the option I should choose? So I'm using a shortcut key called F3. I use a shortcut key F3 to submit a program. So if you see DS4, this is you got name and sal, right? Two columns, you got it right? Yes or no? So this is how I read data from CSV file into SAS. At the same time, I can select particular variables into my data set. Okay? Right. So I'll stop this here for today, guys. You guys are clear, yes or no? Maybe too much of information, not required. So we can stop this here for today. Okay? So if you wanted to read data from different kinds of data sources, we were able to read. At the same time, we were able to select particular variables into your data sets. Correct, yes or no? Everyone clear? Okay.
Yes,
If
sir.
everyone are clear, we can sign off. Thank you, guys. That's all for
Thank you, sir.
today. Please install software as soon as possible. Start practicing your programs. Okay. Bye
Thank you,
all.
sir.